This is the most hostile comment section on YouTube, and I feel like I can say with a high degree of certainty that this is the longest argument ever in a YouTube comment section, lasting an entire year and spanning roughly 500 some replies. Now, with this kind of anger, you would expect the video to be some kind of politically charged video, or maybe somebody said anime should be illegal or that lollies are a crime, something that really puts a hate boner where someone's flaccid cock once was. But what if I told you that the video that all of this is taking place on, the most aggressive comment thread on YouTube, was actually on a Paper Mario song? I'm going to take you on a journey through this war zone here. We're not going to read every reply just because there is so many. This thing's longer than the fucking Bible, honestly. But we're going to go through the big parts, the big moments here in the manga, make sure we get the gist of what's going on, because this may be one of the greatest stories ever told. It's got it all. It's got a little something for everyone. A story of betrayal, violence, love, terrorism, action, drama, mystery, and most of all, Mario. Chapter 1, The Catalyst. This is where it all begins. This is ground zero. Lunar1314 leaves a comment saying, I don't care if I get hate because of this opinion, but this is my favorite Paper Mario final boss song. A bold and brave hot take. Someone didn't tell Lunar that opinions are illegal on the internet. It's not the most controversial thing to say, it's simply a matter of liking a song. But this is the internet, and you can't like something that somebody else doesn't like. A lesson our boy Lunar here is about to learn the hard way. Enter the villain, Oromaru 1837. Because you're like 9, haven't even played the other games, I guarantee you. And now, just like the Powerpuff Girls when the hotline rings, our hero rolls in, Dave Matthew. These are our primary characters. Of course, we get introduced to other important side characters throughout the season here. The lore gets very deep, trust me. But this is basically the Batman and the Joker, Dave and Oromaru. Dave sweeps in defense of Lunar. How about we agree that you are a jerk? Everyone can have their own opinion, and that is the internet, so no one cares about your opinion to begin with. Also, instead of throwing insults at me, why don't you try to get me to see things from your perspective? It would be a lot more time efficient and, unlike insults, actually accomplishes something in the long run. Or you can continue to assume that I am a mere child that does not know of the 5 other Paper Mario games, or was it 4? Or has even played them, both opinions being completely wrong. But as I said, it's the internet. We can go in circles all day and night and neither of us would get anywhere. So let's not, okay? Dave trying to get out ahead here and squash the beef, giving a fair warning to Oromaru that you do not want to fuck with Dave, but spoiler alert, Oromaru pokes the sleeping bear. You never gave your side, dumb fuck. All you did was come on here talking about some damn opinions or some shit. Pretty clear you didn't intend to accomplish anything. Also, you haven't played any other game, have you? It's not hard to know how many Paper Mario games there are, kid. 64, Thousand Year Door, Super Paper Mario, this garbage, and Color Splash, which was actually not bad, but was too weird gameplay-wise to be called a Paper Mario game. And it's this comment right here that makes a good boy go bad. You do not question Dave Matthews' understanding of the Paper Mario franchise, and you do not do it on a public forum like this, and be an asshole about it. The opinion haver that started all of this comes back in here, kicks open the doors to the Church of Paper Mario with tears in his eyes like he just watched his parents having a fight, saying, all I said was, this is my favorite final boss song in the Paper Mario series, but it turned into a huge fight and I don't understand that. And then Oromaru hits him with a hard dose of reality. You said you don't care if you get hate, so obviously you do understand, dumb fuck. Unfortunately, Lunar just doesn't understand that his initial comment was like the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, and now he's started a massive war. And in war, Lunar, there's casualties. I know you can say whatever you want, but please, can you please calm down and make a nice comment to people? Like I said, please not say about 1,000 cuss words with this reply, please. It's not hurting you to read a quick fuck. Look, I'm understanding everything you're saying. I'm just here to calm you down. Not everything in the world is solved by anger. Jedi Brooklyn Green comes in here and tries to reason with Sith Lord Oromaru here about how anger's not the key, but it's all for nothing because Oromaru has already been consumed by his anger. Like I said, I am cutting out a couple things here because there is so much of it. It'd be like a 10-hour video if I read the entire chain. Basically, in a nutshell, Dave was saying this is pointless, it's an internet argument, let's just drop this. And he concludes his monologue with, well, since we both agree that this whole thing is pointless, let us just agree to disagree and be on our way then. Oromaru, cool. so fuck off. Peace was never an option. Nah, seeing your pointless insults because you can't come up with an actual comeback to my remarks is rather funny to me. Heh, I thrive off your pointless rage. Thought it was done. Why are you still here, idiot? As I said, I thrive off your rage and anger. You want me to stop? Stop being angry. Easy. Dave Matthews is slowly accumulating power like a spirit bomb fueled by Oromaru's rage. He is laughing in the face of Oromaru's anger. Not angry, dumb fuck. Piss off. See? Angry. Not angry, dumb fuck. Piss off. I see that you're running out of comebacks. I can give you a few if you need them. Dave, of course, being one of the world's leading comeback dealers. Not stressful, you're just annoying, lol. And there's plenty of music better than this shit, even from Color Splash. Uh-huh. Why don't you go back to your 1,000-year-old game and super overrated Paper Mario game? Your screen, oh boo-hoo. Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest viol— Oh wait, I broke it. If this was done, why did you reply? Metal Mario coming in here just spitting straight venom in the face of Oromaru here, lighting him on fire with the world's smallest violin comment. Nice try, dumb fuck, but I haven't even played any Paper Mario games except Color Splash. Now fuck off with your shitty excuses for jokes. People have better shit to read. When I initially made it to this chapter the first time and got blindsided by this plot twist, I fucking recoiled into my chair, threw my arms in the air. I was just so absolutely shocked. I felt like I was witnessing history, like I Am Your Father level twists here. This is subverting expectations done extremely well. Not Game of Thrones Season 8 bullshit. This is how you surprise a reader with a narrative plot twist. Who could have seen this coming? If you remember back to the genesis of this whole mess, it started with Oromaru melting down and breaking shit in his room over the fact that somebody liked a Paper Mario song he didn't like, and then accuses them of not having played any of the other Paper Mario games, and then only a short 100 replies later, he himself admits he's only ever played one Paper Mario game, and it's not even this one. It's so fucking remarkable. What an incredible twist. That is character development right there. Now we're getting a little bit of the origin story of Oromaru here, which only makes him even more mysterious. Well, I see my sympathy was misplaced. You seriously judge a game on what other people say about it? You sure have missed many a good game. Also, shame on you. Don't give out criticism if you don't actually have the knowledge to back it up. It's just stupid to say something's wrong and then give no evidence at all to support your theory. And that's researching 101. This guy Reddits. Also, it appears that you really do only know how to spit out insults. I'm gonna have fun with this. Hello again, my old friend. I see you're here to argue once again. Too bad this will end with you weeping, because your argument is less than the dust I'm sweeping. But you will not give up yet, because you don't realize that it's the internet. The internet. So you might as well be voiceless, as all arguments here are practically worthless. Dave Matthews goes full Robert Frost here with this personalized slam poem to Oromaru. I get that it's supposed to be a Sound of Silence parody, and it's executed wonderfully. A special song poem about the argument you still persist on despite the flaws in your argument. P.S. You still haven't told me what your favorite song in the series is. Did I ask? No, bitch, I didn't. Fuck off. Shut the fuck up. I didn't even read what you said because I just know it's dumb as shit, lol. Come on, man, he took the time to write an entire parody song for you. The least you could do is read the lyrics. For about 4 days, there was peace in the comment section where people were going over things they liked and didn't like about the game, and then Oromaru comes in full fury here, pitchfork in hand, ready to slap shit around. He reignites the argument by saying, "Obviously do if yo pussy ass won't just leave the conversation." Dave says, "Ha ha ha, now I remember why I stick around. I love to see what kind of pathetic retort and comeback you are going to make at me that I can easily tear apart. Really, it is rather satisfying to see what you come up with." Once again, there was a truce called in the comment section for about a week, and then Oromaru came back, and Dave immediately noticed. He's like the NORAD defense system, able to hone in on Oromaru's presence, and then attack. "Oh, hello there. Ready for round 2, my little whiny failure? Round and round the argument goes, when will it stop no one knows. That meme has been dead, fucking idiot. I'm ready for you to piss off, you worthless fuck. I did not drag your pride through the mud and make you look like a brainless, arrogant maggot. You did. You destroyed your own argument. You ignored the statements that made you look like a fool. You chose to spit out nothing but insults. Your fault. Your stupidity. Deal with it." Or stick around and continue to look like a moron. It's entertaining, and besides, we win either way, and you lose either way. Dave hits him with some kind of superhero monologue right before he throws the bad guy in jail, and Aramaru says, "Don't care to read your arguments, lol. As a matter of fact, I only read the first reply, lol. Quit wasting my time and fuck off." "Then you are nothing but a bottom-barrel fool who will have no success in life. As I said, you don't bother to defend yourself at all. That makes you an idiot. Also, why should I? You have no power here and you never will. The fact that you think you do just displays your idiocy for everyone. Besides, I already gave you the requirements for my departure. Or are you incapable of reading as well, my little maggot?" Everything Dave has been saying thus far sounds like the Rick and Morty copy pasta from Reddit. I mean, I think Dave is in the right here because Aramaru's a huge fucking asshole, but man, he's really going about all of it in a terrible way. A month goes by. Is he finally gone? Yeah, he is gone. Is he gone if your dumbass would just quit replying? I didn't even read shit you said. I told you that I would only leave if you either apologized for being rude, or if you went 10 comments without swearing. You're not good at remembering things, are you, my little maggot? Hello, little maggot. Just letting you know that I am still in this comment chain, just in case you thought you were rid of me or that you actually won this argument. Okay, bye now. This was after a month of him not replying, so Dave just really wants to continue this, and nothing makes me more uncomfortable than reading Dave keep calling someone my little maggot. Like, this must be how it feels for some girls when they hear the word moist. Every time I read him saying my little maggot, I just get like tingly and uncomfortable and break out into like a little profuse sweat. It's just yucky. I feel like I'm reading some old woman's fanfic where she's describing some weird sexual intercourse she had at a biker bar or something, and it's just making me uncomfortable. I don't know why he keeps calling this guy my little maggot. I don't give a fuck where you are, dumb bitch. Just like no one cares about you, my little maggot. This will be the last time you see Dave with this kind of confidence because he's about to meet the actual muscle here. Mr. Hater. If Aramaru was a supervillain, then Mr. Hater is a fucking turbo villain. He's a galactic villain, a universal threat, a divine being of villainy. I don't even know what to call him, a fucking raid boss of villainy. Because he comes in here and just starts slapping shit around. He's a big asshole as well, of course. But he brings Dave to his knees here. This is like when you're reading a comic book and the hero's in trouble. So Mr. Hater comes in here with a full chub, full erection, red alert. He calls out Dave in front of the entire classroom. "I see you have a superiority complex and are very self-centered. How very hypocritical. You're no better than him. Guess I gotta clean house and deal with little keyboard warriors like you myself." That is honestly like some Marvel's Thanos shit right there. Dave is still riding the high after he seemingly defeated Aramaru, so he replies to Mr. Hater with a large amount of confidence and a bit of arrogance, saying, "Heh, you poor naive fool. When did I ever claim that I was better than little maggot? That I'm better than you? Oh, to live in your little fantasy. Can you not see what I am doing? Or are you just as blind as he is? Of course, I can tell you're cut from the same cloth as my little maggot, so I'll humor your attempts at insulting me and everyone else present. Let's see how long you last." Dave's still under the impression that he's the king of this Thunderdome, but what he hasn't realized yet is Mr. Hater's not locked in here with Dave. Dave is locked in here with Mr. Hater. "Oh, I know your intentions very well, and I intend to stop it. I mean, what the hell is wrong with you? Just look at your comment, you poor naive fool, to live in your little fantasy. These are things that a narcissistic, self-centered man-child would say. How am I or anyone with half a brain cell supposed to take you seriously? There's a reason the other guy left. You won't last long, Dave. You won't last long because underneath all that bravado, you're just a sad little boy with delusions of grandeur, who, by the way, can't talk for shit. So here's a piece of friendly advice. Turn away now and stop wasting Aramaru's time, because if you don't, by the time this is over, you'll be my little maggot." No response. Guess I must have hit one of your soft spots, Winky. "So you actually have some bite, do you? Good. Let's see what you've got. I will compliment you on your use of insults, as well as how you get straight to the point." Dave is immediately showing that Mr. Hater has hurt him. You can't do that, Dave. You can never show weakness to a man like Mr. Hater. He can smell blood in the water. He can smell cum in a bathtub. He will pounce, and you can't let him find any amount of scrapes on your armor. Dave, he showed a weakness, and Mr. Hater exploited it, unfortunately. Heh, of course you didn't realize. I wasn't talking about Lunar. I was talking about you and me. We don't care what others think of our opinion. We just say whether we agree or disagree with someone's opinion. In that way, we are alike, you and I. Don't you agree? I love this exchange here. This is like the season finale here when the two characters are monologuing at each other before they start beating each other with like a stick or something. Ah, I see you're trying to get on my good side. As you know what they say, if you can't beat them, join them. How about this, Dave? Write a full paragraph apologizing to Aramaru, and I might consider agreeing with you. And, by the way, it has to be real nice, so no calling him my little maggot. Otherwise, I might just start calling you that myself. That would require me to have a single shred of respect towards little maggot. And in case you did not read the whole conversation, I did apologize to him. He threw it back in my face and used it to insult me without responding to it whatsoever. You, on the other hand, are actually participating in a discussion, while my little maggot only responds with the same insults like he's a broken fax machine. You, I respect, little wasp. I forgot to click read more for the screenshot, but it said, I do not respect little maggot. So now Dave, for some reason, is calling Mr. Hater Little Wasp. I don't understand where he's getting this from. Maybe like from old 60s movies or something where it was cool. And then he references a fax machine, which hasn't been in use for the last 30 years. So I just don't know what's really going on here. Maybe Dave is caught in a time vortex and he's communicating with us from the past. And he's only able to communicate through the comment section of Paper Mario Final Boss Song. But yeah, just really fucking love this part here. This feels like the climax of the entire argument. Dave going with the whole, we're not so different, you and I. We're one of the same. It's like some shit you'd see in Naruto Sasuke right before their final fight. It's fucking wonderful. You make a fair point. I shall apologize to him, but do not expect a paragraph. You make sound arguments, Mr. Wasp. I'm not one to call someone by childish names, but you are very hypocritical after all, so I expect nothing less. Anyway, do go ahead. Where's the apology? I don't see it. Mr. Hater's trying to rush this. It hasn't even been a full day at this point. Mr. Hater, he wants that apology ASAP. So now you can see Mr. Hater has assumed control of this entire argument. The entire tone has shifted here, and now Dave is at the mercy of Mr. Hater, and he wants his homework. Do not rush me. It's been 2 days now, so no excuses. You aren't gonna apologize, are you? I figured as much. If you wish to continue arguing, then be my guest, kid. Dave is starting to panic a little bit. He doesn't want to write this apology because he does not respect Aramaru, but he is afraid of Mr. Hater, so he's caught in between a rock and a hard place here, and he's treading water in the comment section. 1, I have a life at the moment. 2, you need a little bit of patience. 1 word. College. You don't go to college, David. Then you clearly set your expectations of me far too low. A shame, really. I thought you would be smart enough to not do what little maggot did. Stop lying to yourself, David. How about you tell me what's actually going on? College, as I said before. Do you not listen, or are you refusing to believe that I have a life outside of this? Now, if you excuse me, I have a music class to attend. I really don't understand why Dave even feels compelled to keep answering at this point. He doesn't want to write the apology. He shouldn't write an apology, honestly. He just doesn't have to reply to Mr. Hater. He can just wash his hands of this whole thing and still come out as the victor. But for some reason, he keeps engaging with Mr. Hater in here, and Mr. Hater's pressure is somehow like leaking into Dave's real world, it seems, because it feels like he's stressing about this apology, which he shouldn't write in the first place. Mr. Hater goes in on Dave, starts poking holes into his claims about college because 4 months ago it was still coronavirus shutdown, so classes weren't going on, so Dave feels the need to defend himself again. And then he kind of just explains he just doesn't want to fucking apologize, which he shouldn't. I'm glad he doesn't. Dave says, 1, truthfully, I don't want to apologize to Armu because I know for a fact it would not be genuine, and no matter how much I hate a person, I'm not going to insult them by giving them a mocking, half-assed apology. And 2, online classes are a thing that exists, and I'm not doing just a music class. Who is the antagonistic one here? Because it definitely isn't me. You poor, pathetic whelp. barking and baying like anything you say will ever matter. No, your words don't hurt me because they are artificial, fake, designed, and spoken for the sole purpose of inflicting pain without putting actual feeling behind it. Ha 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 ha. No. Your words are hollow, and do not deserve the electrons my brain cells would have to burn to process them, just like you. You're not special, you're not unique, you're not important, and you never will be, not now, not ever. So go ahead whelping, keep making a fool of yourself. I'll just watch the show, laughing all the while. And in your ivory tower of hypocrisy, did you ever once realize I never denied what you have been saying? You are a parasite, Mr. Hater. Something that must tear everyone down to justify their worthless existence. Perhaps I am one too, but that's where our similarities end. You lash out at anyone you see as below you. I lash out at people who do what you and Armu did. Insult and tear into someone because they dared to have an opinion you did not agree with, or lash out at people who defend themselves from other people like you. I never said I was better. But does it really matter in the end? At the end of the day, one of us looks like the bad guy to everyone else, and since I haven't been antagonizing everyone participating in this, it most definitely not me who's the bad guy. Try to say I'm wrong here. You're not wrong, Dave. Not at all. And people like Aramaru and Mr. Hater, yeah, they suck a lot of fat ass. It's sad that someone cares this much about someone's opinion on something that doesn't matter. 100%. Agree with you entirely there, Dave. But the way you're handling all this and then putting this huge, presidential speech here is not good either. This is the wrong way of handling any of this. And there's really just no point in arguing in a YouTube comment section to begin with. There are no winners here. Mr. Hater breaks down his response line by line. You lash out at anyone you see as below you. Dave, don't be ridiculous. I'm not as narcissistic as you, or at all for that matter. I lash out at anyone who do what you and Armu did. A mistake you will regret, as you have started all of this, and I aim to end it. The two go back and forth about the apology that Dave doesn't want to write. Mr. Hater just keeps picking apart each line of everything he says. My words are said solely to get you to leave. That's never going to happen, Dave. I've grown very persistent over the years, and trust me, persistence pays, and I will stay here for months if I had to. Will you? Yeah, big guy, I'm sure your persistence pays, living in a fucking comment chain for months. How productive and incredible. There are just some people who live their life to argue online, and it's sad as shit. This guy is the perfect example, willingly saying, I will stay in this fucking thread for months because I have nothing else going on in my life. That is pathetic. That's fucking sad, Mr. Hater. Apology seems unlikely. Then you will perish here eventually with me, as it's either you apologize to Aramaru now and we'll be on our way, or we're going to be staying here for a long, long time. So, with that being said, let's just start all over on a positive note. We aren't going to start all over on a more positive note until you start apologizing, Dave. Are you going to apologize for your own hostility? Short answer, no. Unlike you, I did nothing wrong, Dave. So it's either you apologize to Aramaru and behave, or you slowly perish with me for months. Either way, I consider it a win-win. And this is where the story stops. I mean, it goes on a little bit further, but nothing is more pathetic than this mic drop from Mr. Hater. These are the people you argue with online, people that have actually nothing better to do. He considers it a win-win if someone is perishing, wasting their time in a comment section with him. That's so fucking sad. He considers it successful if he wastes somebody else's time and wastes his own time because he's already miserable in the first place. Oh, actually, I almost forgot. 3 months after all of this went down, as the dust was starting to settle, Mr. Hater and Dave just stopped communicating with each other, and there was just momentary bliss as everyone read through the thread. And then Yoshi comments, tagging Aramaru, and Aramaru's been tagged this entire time. Yoshi just points out it's been 10 months, but 64 really good, kind of basic, 1,000 Year Door, bop, and all this. Just kind of breaks down his opinion of the music. And then Aramaru, from out of fucking nowhere, comes out of retirement to deliver one of the most powerful conclusions to any story ever given. I don't give a fuck about your opinion, this song is still shit. What a beautiful way of wrapping all of this up. But yeah, anyway, the last interaction between our main characters was 4 months ago. From what I checked today, there wasn't any new developments that I noticed. A few more people have been made aware of this because it was posted on Twitter. That's how I found it. And this has just been truly a joy, delightful to read through. So just keep all this in mind next time you think you're confident enough to leave an opinion on a Paper Mario song. That's about it. So yeah. Now, I've seen a lot of people say that I look and sound like a Redditor, which is one of the most insulting things you can ever say about another human being. But what if I force-fed you a hard truth? What if I told you, I don't really use Reddit? My narwhal doesn't bacon at midnight. I'll occasionally go on there just to see if there's any breaking news that I might be unaware of, but it's very infrequent. And I never, go into the swamp of a comment section on the platform until today. I don't know what possessed me to do this. It must have been some kind of divine moment that just grabbed me by the shoulders and possessed me, told me that I needed to read some comments today, and I am so thankful I did. I stumbled upon true beauty with an argument that could only ever happen on Reddit, that perfectly encapsulates the quintessential Reddit user. In this moment, I am euphoric, thanks to finding this fucking angry Redditor and everyone who engaged with him on this day. It started in the most unsuspecting location, but then again, that's where all good fairy tales begin. In the place you least expect them. So, it was a clip posted from this podcast. Now, the clip doesn't matter. I'm not going to play the clip. I'm sure you probably already recognize the person here. Her name is Bobby. She runs a podcast where she interviews famous celebrities, and her whole shtick is she makes things awkward, which is a very hit or miss format, so it's led to a lot of debate on why is she so popular. Also, is she an industry plant because she seemingly blew up overnight? She landed an interview with Drake while she was still relatively new and not massive, so it just started raising a lot of red flags, and a lot of people started saying it must be an industry plant, and then she started getting even more superstar celebrities. Like this clip is from an interview she did with Lil Yachty, and it's just been a lot of hoopla around her and her content. The only reason I'm even giving you this lore dump is because it is necessary to put into context what started this argument. And it's the entire reason I went into the comment section, really, of this video. You see, Bobby's content is very polarizing. On TikTok, people love Bobby. They're cheering her on, pumping their fist. Go, Bobby! Let's get it! Fuck yeah! And then on Twitter, it's boo! Oh, brother, she stinks. Get out of town, scram, this is garbage. So two very different responses to her content on two different platforms, but I've never really seen Reddit's opinion on it. I've never seen them weigh in, and curiosity got the best of me. I marched into Mordor, went to the comments in order to get an answer to the question, and most of the comments were pretty negative towards the interview, but there was one comment that spawned a whole series of dominoes to fall. So let's begin our journey. I'm going to blank out their name here. I don't want anyone to go harass anyone involved in this situation. So this individual comes forth and says, "What grown man sits down and watches this bullshit, then have the nerves to repost this garbage to Reddit?" Now this comment received a lot of love, over 400 upvotes, which is nothing to scoff at. That's a lot of high quality karma. Unfortunately, no Reddit Gold, Reddit Platinum, or Reddit Silver was gifted to it, so we weren't blessed with the edit "thanks for the gold, stranger," or anything like that, but still, the community responded very positively to this comment, and most of the comment section here echoed the same sentiment that they didn't really understand the appeal of the clip. Now, all of this doesn't matter. You can wipe your ass with all of this now, because going forward, this comment spiraled into something that had nothing to do with the original post anymore, and it went fucking insano style. Now we're introduced to our primary antagonist of Season 1. So, from out of nowhere, our main character gets challenged. Someone steps in and says, "Lol, you're on the Hot Wheels sub, dude. Weird to take shots at what grown men should be into when your interests include Hot Wheels. Different people like different things. Leave it be." So he goes into the post history of this individual and notices that they are a frequent poster on the Hot Wheels subreddit, and he's using it to take some shots at him to try and showcase like, hey man, you say grown men shouldn't be into that, but I could also say grown men shouldn't be into Hot Wheels. You see how that works? And he's not wrong. He's coming for the throat here. You could absolutely say the same thing. What grown men would be so into Hot Wheels that they'd go on to Reddit and talk about it all the time? I personally have no problem with that at all, and I don't think this poster does either. He's just using it to make a point. I think whatever hobby you're into, whatever you collect, I think it's great. I think that shit slaps. Having something that you're passionate about that you would collect it, I think is a cool thing. I mean, I have fucking cards framed on my wall from Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, right? Like, I get it. But this really struck a nerve with this guy. He responded by saying, "Grown man liking cars? Who would have thought? I see you ignored all the other subs. Maybe I should waste my time on rap and movie subs like all the other low IQ Redditors across the pond." And if you're an astute observer, you'll notice that he's no longer enjoying the luxury of some updoots. The subreddit has turned against him, thrown him to the wolves. He is now being flooded with downvotes. And a downvote is a fate worse than death to a Redditor. It's kryptonite to Superman. The downvotes start hitting him, over 100 downvotes. And I can see why. This feels very insecure to come at him like this. Like, his point was pretty clear, but then he, tries to, I don't know, explain away why it's, really in line with being a grown-ass man because he likes cars. He's like, oh, well, yeah, grown men like cars, Hot Wheels are cars, duh. I mean, maybe I should just go to rap and movie subreddits like you low IQ plebeians. It's really, really cringy Reddit behavior now. The bad boy comes back with a tough-to-swallow pill. Hot Wheels aren't cars, mate. They're toys. Talk about low IQ, haha. You're not better than anybody else, sorry to tell you. To which he responds, the fact you had to come back and edit that pathetic response, LMAO. And then he just says, go play with your vroom vrooms. His collection of downvotes is starting to eclipse his collection of Hot Wheels cars at this point. They just keep pouring in. As you can see, most people are rallying behind the other guy who's just saying, brother, they're toys, not real cars. And he's right. He is fluent in facts. He is spittin'. They are not real cars. They are toys. There's nothing wrong with collecting them or liking them, but I don't understand why this goofball is talking about it as if they are real vehicles. He's like, you know, got this bravado going on, like this machismo, like, oh yeah, grown men liking cars, who would have thought? It's Hot Wheels, man. They're still collectible toys that you can play with, and they are made for kids, but there's nothing wrong with liking them or collecting them as an adult. Fucking Pokemon cards are made for kids too. I collect them. Like, there's no shame in it, but you're acting so insecure about it and, like, pretending that it's something that it's not. And he does the classic Reddit 101 when it comes to argument, where he doesn't actually address what was said. He just says, LMAO, edited your pathetic response, big L, basically. Like, his response wasn't pathetic, it was totally fine. You didn't counter it or anything at all. He just made you look foolish, and you continue to make yourself look like even more of a clown here. In response to the vroom vroom comment, he says, I'm changing spark plugs on my 700 horsepower F-150 right now. I will when I get done, though. And now, here enters the sidekick to our main supervillain here, who chimes in and says, you're trying too hard. To which this guy responds, actually, I'm low on boost. If I was trying too hard, I'd be at 950 horsepower range. It doesn't get more Redditor than that. Oh my fucking god, I could feel the fedora tip through the computer screen here. Milady, my horsepower is quite low, actually. It's just, shit, it hurts to read, it really does. The guy's absolutely right. He is trying so hard. I half expected him to go into, like, the Navy SEALs copy pasta. What'd you say to me, you little bitch? I've got 500 confirmed Hot Wheels with 6,000 horsepower and 400 RPM turbo booster NOS accelerators. Like, brother, it's Reddit. You're not Dominic Toretto. You're talking about Hot Wheels. It's not that deep. Even if he was being honest and was changing the spark plugs in his F-150, why would you say that? It just makes you look like such a fucking loser to say that during your heated little scuffle online. It's so cringy. If that's what you were actually doing, keep it to yourself. You don't need to try and, like, prove that you're a man to a stranger on Reddit. All hell breaks loose right now, and the cringe is rated E for everyone, because he starts just lashing out at anybody in the thread. So someone else made a comment, and he went through his post history, I believe, and found that he was on, like, the WWE subreddit. So he calls him out saying, WWE isn't real, bro, sorry to tell you. Maybe you should pick up a real hobby like learning about cars. To which they respond, toys. A slam dunk, he's right. It's all fucking about Hot Wheels so far. So then he comes back and says, yes, I'm not delusional like you, Mr. SmackDown vs. Raw. That's not even an insult. The WWE is extraordinarily popular. Hot Wheels Henry is just really scrapping for any morsel, any crumb of an insult that he can, you know, slap together, and it's not working. It's not. He's fighting like 16 different battles from all fronts here on this comment thread, and he's losing every single one of them. Our boy then goes full armchair psychologist. You actually are ashamed deep down. That's the whole reason you chimed in on my comment. You felt attacked when I said, what grown man watches this? It brought back traumatic memories of you being bullied for liking WWE in this day and age. He's like, no, I commented just because of the toxicity. To which he says, I'd rather have a Hot Wheels collection in my garage next to my turbo truck than have Rey Mysterio and Triple H posters all over my wall. I don't know who's getting bullied for liking the WWE in this day and age. It's extraordinarily popular. Maybe like 10 years ago, but today, no shot. I think he's fighting ghosts with that one. You're much more likely to get bullied for collecting Hot Wheels cars as a grown-ass man. Case in point. Though, he's not actually getting bullied for that because no one really has a problem with what you collect as a hobby. The reason people are making fun of him here in the subreddit is because of his attitude, where he views his hobby as just superior to whatever else everyone's interested in. Oh, you see, no, I actually collect Hot Wheels cars, like a real grown, grizzled, strong, big-muscled man, not this lame garbage. Like, it just sounds like pinky up, high off your own fumes, sniffing your own farts kind of garbage where you view yourself as superior than others just because you think your interests are better. So you're just shitting on everyone else who called it out. Like, no one cares if you collect Hot Wheels cars in your garage and it's right next to your fucking Optimus Prime truck. Yeehaw, that's great. You're just being an asshole about it, which is why people are just making fun of you in the subreddit. His rampage continues, and this time he's pissing on sacred, hallowed ground. He insults RuneScape. He says, you drive a stock car and play RuneScape, I know you're drowning in pussy. He's saying it sarcastically. So he checked the comment history of this guy, saw that he played RuneScape, and he's using it to attack him. Which is a wild one. Like, yeah, RuneScape's got some, you know, less than stellar things about it, but there's nothing wrong with RuneScape at all. It's still an extremely popular MMO that is well loved to this day. And the guy's like, I don't understand how a dude who plays with toy cars thinks he's above people on movie and rap subreddits and people who play RuneScape. We're all on the same site getting in our respective nerdy communities. What makes toy cars better than talking about media or playing a game? Which is fair. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And then he just goes, you don't understand because you can't even turn a wrench on your own car. Of course, a mechanic is going to be into Hot Wheels considering he works around cars all day. Do you need me to further break it down for you to understand? Oh, just that aura of insecure loser is very potent. It's like in Bleach when they first meet Kenpachi and his spiritual pressure is so strong that it just glues people to the ground, they can't even stand up. That's what his loser aura is doing to me right now. It's rough. Why do you feel the need to defend your hobby when no one's actually attacking that? They're attacking your behavior, where you think what you do is better than everyone else and can't understand that different people are going to like different things and there's nothing wrong with that. That's the only thing people are picking apart. That's what started this whole thing. You were saying, who watches this garbage? What grown man would do this? And one other guy was like, hey, you're a grown man who plays with Hot Wheels, you understand? Like, different people like different things. It could have been so easy to just meet in the middle, shake hands, and be like, oh, okay, I get it, yeah. This wasn't for me. Just like Hot Wheels collecting, maybe not for you. But he just refuses to accept that reality. Instead, he's just going, no, you don't understand because you can't turn a wrench in your own car. He just keeps diving in on things other people like. Do you just really call RuneScape a fun multiplayer game? Responding to someone saying that it was a fun game, there's nothing wrong with it. You're not playing COD, dude. You're playing a game that's synonymous with virgin weirdos like yourself. Deaf embarrassing. He's just trying way too hard. I can feel the tears in his eyes as he types these comebacks. Now, up until this point, I had a big smile on my face reading these for the first time, but when I read his next response here, I let out an audible gasp. So the guy, once again, is still going in about RuneScape, like, you know, it's just an MMO, you know, whatever, you're being a judgmental prick, and can't handle it when people roast you back. So you start combing through comment histories, massive Redditor mindset. And his response is, I can definitely handle it, LMAO. I just shit on 10 different no-lifes, including you, that wanted to be relevant. There's multiple comments saying who watches this, but of course you want to reply to mine for the free clout and upvotes from the Fem girls. I don't even know what fantasy land this guy's in. He just went into Narnia, and he's not coming back, I guess. We've lost him for good in delusion. Farming the free clout from a Reddit comment section? What clout? And where did the Fem girls come from? And I don't understand. There's so many layers to this onion, I don't even know where to begin with picking it apart. So, first of all, he can't handle anyone roasting him back. He has showcased that very beautifully. He's had a full-blown conniption over this. He did not shit on 10 different people. He just made a fool of himself in response to 10 different people. And he says that they just wanted to be relevant. So I'm guessing this guy has a huge ego, and he thinks that he's some kind of Reddit power user, perhaps? Like, his karma speaks for itself, right? Like, this is a big guy. And you guys are only responding to him because they're trying to suckle some clout from his teats, his big, ample bosom of relevancy. It's wild. It's so wild to me. So I went to his account because I did a double take. Is this like a big Reddit user? No, he's not. Like, I don't know what like the highest upper echelon of Reddit karma farming is, like the biggest karma accounts, but his is not very high. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. But even if it was, if he's the #1 Reddit poster, there is no such thing as Reddit clout for commenters. That doesn't exist. Like, Reddit is the only social media platform where if you're extremely active, the #1 account on Reddit, it doesn't do dick for you. It does less than nothing for you. If you get Twitter famous, you can at least turn that into some kind of like sponsorship revenue or lead people to other platforms to maybe follow you. Now you can even make direct ad revenue from engagement, I guess. TikTok, obviously, you can make a whole career out of. Even Facebook, obviously, YouTube, Twitch, every other social media platform, if you are a power user of it and get like a big audience on there, you can make a whole career out of it. Reddit, if you dedicate your life to being a Reddit power user, all you do is get laughed at. That's your big reward. You get insulted for wasting your time. It is the only social media platform where you cannot make a career out of being a power user of it. So even if he was the #1 user on here, it wouldn't matter. And there's no clout that anyone would be able to get from this exchange. This was just one of the most bafflingly out of touch comments I think I've ever read on that platform. Now, another Redditor came in and said, no way you just said free clout when referring to Reddit comments, also stunned by the statement, and he double responds here saying, your plan worked, dude. You got all the femboys wanting to suck you off. And since we're on Reddit, I'll just go ahead and do it. You used the wrong form of your, actually. And then his next response is, y'all should become friends and play together. Y'all would fit in perfectly with the rest of the RuneScape community. I'm at a loss for words. This is kind of where the whole thing ends. And man, what a banger of an exchange it was. It's just such an adventure. All starting from someone mentioning his Hot Wheels hobby. And look at where we ended up, huh? Look at us now. Who would have thought? This is a wacky, wacky argument. Probably my favorite Reddit argument that I've got to actually find for myself. I got to come into this in the wild. I didn't get linked to this. No one told me about this. I just happened to be perusing the comment section and then saw this argument unfold. And I got to go on an unexpected journey with it. And I really just had to share it. I had to. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. Did you see the drama about a Boston Marathon runner shitting in a dude's yard? The dude complained on Reddit, and then the Boston subreddit defended the runner that shit in the dude's yard. I'll check it out. Okay, so this is kind of like the patient zero here. One of the marathon runners just took a shit in my yard. Video inside. Looks like there was hard evidence here. No questions to be asked. They couldn't have tried to blame it on like an animal or something. There was apparently porta potties throughout the route. Man, everything's fucking deleted. This one's not. Someone said it's an emergency. Why would you approach her during this? It was probably embarrassing. She took a shit in his yard. OP responded by saying she should have the courtesy of not shitting on my lawn. There's no possible way her actions can ever be justified. I'm on OP's side here. Like, you can shit other places. There's porta potties throughout there. Plenty that you can do. But yeah, the comments are more on the side of the runner. I think this is one of those astronomically rare circumstances where it can actually be justified. What do you want to happen now? Don't fuck up this woman's life because she didn't want to shit herself. Just don't shit in his lawn. What do you mean, what do you want to happen now? Put her on blast. This lady just fucking shit in my yard. Why? Did she pick up the shit after? No. She left it there and continued running based on the other comments I've seen. Oh my god. Wait, these comments, this is like the most Reddit shit I've ever seen. The comment said, OP should take a lesson from this post. Being a decent human actually requires some effort. On her part, like, just have the decency not to shit in the yard. Yeah, here it loaded. Yes, you have some ground to stand on because this person... Yes, you have some ground to stand on, too, because this person some personal shame. But what else do you get from it? And all of OP's responses there are so focused on my, and even stating in no circumstances is this justified, quite showing of how this person is developed. No, yeah, obviously he has some ground to stand on, but that ground is covered in shit. That's the problem. What the fuck? So focused on my. Yeah, it's his fucking yard that she started shitting on. What? This is crazy. This is crazy. At least this one's got downvotes. The other one was updated. But he probably got downvoted because of terrible grammar. His grammar was more shit than that lady's ass. So they probably downvoted for that, because the other ones are updated. At least we're getting to a point where some of these awful takes are fucking downvoted. Damn, OP, you didn't even offer the bathroom. Boo. Right? That's the humane thing to do. Do you want to clean up in my house? You're right, OP should have been out there with his baby wipes helping her wipe her ass. Maybe get her some Imodium and water while he's at it. Shut the fuck up. You can invite some stranger into your house after she poops in your lawn. Finally, a man in the Boston subreddit with a fucking brain in between their ears. Yeah. What are you talking about? Didn't even offer the bathroom. What's he supposed to do? Be monitoring his ring at every hour of the day, making sure there's not some vigilante pooper coming through? Like, fucking rushes out there and cradles her like a baby, dragging her to the bathroom? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What kind of chaos? What kind of madness? What world are we living in? What kind of fantasy? Please, madam, come inside. Use my toilet. Use my facilities, quick. Put your sphincter away. There's better choices. Don't embarrass yourself. Again, at least this one has downvotes. You're acting like someone pooped in your yard for fun. She's running a marathon and didn't know what to do. It's not like she could just go home. Yeah, it's gross, but she was probably already embarrassed about the situation. Fucking hold it till you get to the porta potties, or even at the, even at the bare minimum, just shit on public property. Like shit on the street. Just anywhere else. At least bury it. And if, you know what, and I'll go a step further. If you're going to shit in someone's yard, at least have the decency to pick it up. Like a dog. Marathon runners shit their pants all the time. Half the sport is being able to push your body to the limits and accept the consequences. I don't know how common it is, but there is an iconic photo of a marathon runner who's approaching the finish line with fucking doo-doo running down both of their legs. And they have like this really grimaced expression on their face. Actually just covered in more shit than like a baby who filled their diaper. The video is on Twitter. Let me see. You can't really see anything. This guy's got a huge front lawn. Some people also came around the corner and caught her in the act. I don't know if those are like marathon judges making sure no one poops themselves or something, like the goddamn defecation police, but like 2 people come around the corner and actually watch her shit on this man's lawn. Did she not wipe? Well, she didn't pack baby wipes or toilet paper for the marathon. She didn't expect to be shitting in it. Tactical shit drive-by. Yeah, looks like it. But yeah, she just leaves it. Doesn't even look like she makes an attempt to clean it up. That is foul. So the better option was for her to shit herself instead of going in someone's yard. Do you hear how ridiculous that sounds? Like you'd rather someone be covered in shit and publicly embarrass themselves instead of have a corner of poo on your lawn. It's literally part of the sport. Nearly 60% of marathon runners report shitting themselves. I think you're pulling this out of your ass. This stat is just as shitty as this woman in the yard. Like, I don't believe that. But yeah, there's a couple of other options. Fucking poop in public on the street outside of other people's property, or if you're going to poop on someone's yard, treat it like a dog shitting and literally pick it up after yourself. Yeah, 100%. It looks like that's all we got. That was quite a journey. That was an adventure. First off, runner's diarrhea, as it is known, is a real thing. A study published in the National Library of Medicine in 1992 asked 109 long-distance athletes about their bowel movements during runs. 62% reported that they had stopped for a bowel movement during training. 43% said they had nervous diarrhea before a race, and 51% said they had experienced diarrhea after a race, and 12% reported full-on fecal incontinence while running. That is shockingly high. But that's probably why they have porta potties throughout these marathons, for situations just like this. I guess I don't know how close together those porta potties are, though. Maybe there's like a big gap in between them. Yeah, wild situation. I didn't realize how common poopy pants were during a marathon. I thought that was kind of like an isolated incident. What you did was wrong, but I'm sure in her mind it was sheer panic. Hard to say what you'd do unless you're in the same shoes. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, like I said, I don't think this was premeditated. I don't think she planned on shitting in someone's yard that day or anything. But even still, like if you know like the floodgates are opening, I would say just do it on like public land, or at least clean up after yourself. Like find some bushes on public property, shit there, or clean up after yourself at the very least instead of just leave it like it was a hit and run, like a drive-by. Twist, she wasn't even actually running in the marathon. Oh yeah, maybe it's a very nefarious plot. The marathon was just a cover. There was a second shitter on the grassy knoll. This was cool. This was a nice little rabbit hole. I don't even remember who brought that up, but that was interesting. It's beginning to feel a lot like Florida with the story we're about to talk about right now. A police officer in Maryland was cheating on his wife, and he was making out with his mistress in public, while on the job, while across the street from a playground that had children actively playing on it. And then after they were done exchanging saliva and smooching, they go into the back of the squad car together. And I'll be honest with you sports fans, I don't think they were going back there for a game of chess or to exchange any kind of information, unless we're talking about genetic information. I'm pretty sure they were steaming ham back there, engaging in a little coitus. The whole situation is downright diabolical. Not only were they shamelessly making out in public for all to see while the officer was on the job, but then they go back into the squad car together to fuck, while they are parked across the street from a playground that has kids actively playing on it. It's so yucky. Now, I went over it on stream, so I'll play some of those clips, but there is actually a lot of developments from this story. So the officer has been suspended for this, and his wife actually posted on Facebook when she was made aware of this whole situation, and the woman that the officer was cheating on his wife with actually came forward and said, "I've done nothing wrong. I'm going to continue living my life doing what I'm doing. In my heart, in his heart, I know that I've done nothing." He knows, Paula being his wife, "I've done nothing wrong. God is my higher power." God has abandoned you after this act of sin. You broke 11 of the 10 commandments with this act alone. You got your donut glazed by a married man on the job in public in front of children. That is downright diabolical. And you have the gall to say that you did nothing wrong? Mind-blowing. Now, she did say more about this situation, which I'll get to in a moment, but I want to play you the footage first so you can be caught up to speed on the lore here on what unfolded. But, again, in a nutshell, basically, she got her spaghetti meatballed by a married officer on the job in the back of their squad car, in public, middle of the day, across from a playground that actively had children playing. It is gross.
See here from last night are being investigated. Appears to show the uniformed officer
paid vacation. Yeah.
Get in the back seat, you can see here, of this cruiser. Now, a man taped it all with his phone at a neighborhood park right next to Oxon Hill High School.
What the fuck? Why there? He slabbed up outside of a high school to have sex with her in his car. What a weirdo. I still love that everything addresses X as formerly known as Twitter, or just straight up Twitter. Such a disastrous idea to try and change it to fucking X of all things. I was like, oh my god, there's kids around here at the time, and all the time, and he didn't care, and it was not dark. He doesn't respect the uniform, he doesn't respect the police car, I can't believe that. FOP89 has been made aware of the videos circulating on the internet. We have no information as to the investigation of the videos or the officer involved, as that's handled by the department's Internal Affairs Division. We ask that our officer be given the same consideration that any other person would ask for, and that you reserve judgment until all the facts are known and videos are put into context. He is on video making out, literally like sucking the lips off of her face, and then they go into the back seat of his police cruiser. What do you think happened back there? They didn't just go back there to keep smooching. What the fuck do you mean? In what context? What context? It's all just right there. He's just openly making out with her in public across the high school. Across from the high school. He was investigating her mouth. Yeah, I guess she had a bomb in her pussy. And his cock was the only thing that could defuse it. He actually ended up saving the whole school. It's like a speed situation, and you had to keep your thrusts above 4 pumps per second in order to keep the bomb from going off in her vagina. That's a crime, right? Like 100%? Having sex in broad daylight outside of a high school? Like, I guess you're in your car, but it's not like it's private. You're still in front of the high school in public having sex. Body cam footage? Oh wait, yeah. They need to release the body cam footage. Maybe that'll be all the context we need. Perhaps it was some kind of deep sting operation and they go into the back seat in order to exchange information or something. I don't know. I really want to see the body cam footage now. We need the context. Can't find where to get Critical's comics at? Oh, badegg.co. First OnlyFans with police POV. That would be big. Well, since he got suspended, so maybe he will need to turn to OnlyFans now. Let me see what the rest of the report says.
Arlette, and this is not his first suspension. Now, the incident happened right here in this parking lot at South.
Not his first suspension. Is it for the same thing? How many times does he fuck women on the job in his patrol car outside of a school?
This viral video. A Prince George's County police officer appears to be kissing a woman. Then they both get into...
What do you mean appears to be? Hold on, let me get the unblurred version. What do you mean appears to be? It's not like they were just like pulling a quarter out from behind her ear or something. Like, that was the sloppiest makeout session ever. That's like 15 brewskis deep at a dive bar, and you're like blurred making out with someone and just slobbering all over them. Where's the non-blurred version? Because that leaves nothing to the imagination. He was conducting an oral swab. Yeah. You can even hear kids playing. God, that's fucking revolting. Now that you've seen the evidence here, which is pretty substantial evidence, let's go back into more of what she said. Luckily, she was kind enough to explain that this was not a one-night stand. She said, that's the main story, that this isn't a little thing. Of course, since he's a police officer, it looks bad. But I just want people to understand that this was not a one-night stand. I just love that that's her priority. Like, this is the #1 thing she's addressing. Like, okay, listen, everyone. You know, stop all this hoopla. I'll set the record straight. This is not a one-night stand. We've actually been seeing each other for multiple years now behind his wife's back. You know, so get that straight. I'm tired of rumors circulating. The most important thing is to know that this is not a one-night stand. In fact, he cheats often with me. And I guess publicly, too. What's so exciting? He's a cop. I'm a civilian. We got caught. It sucks, but this will pass. She also has a kid of her own, and she just doesn't seem to care about this at all. She's reacting to this the same way I react to finding out I'm out of ketchup. Just like a, geez, darn, oh well. Like, I would have expected something a little more here. Also, this isn't the first time the officer was suspended. In 2016, he was indicted for child abuse after he allegedly spanked a girlfriend's 3-year-old son so much that the boy lost consciousness. But then it was later ruled that the allegations were unfounded. But the mistress here said that the incidents in this current scandal don't get in the way of her feelings for the officer. Now, you know, I don't think you needed any more evidence that this might not be a good guy. But I think this is an important little tidbit of lore to have around this officer. But yeah, I just found this to be a pretty wacky story here that I wanted to talk about a little bit. That's it. So yeah. When it comes to Twitter, I'll usually read a tweet, get a frown on my face, and then forget about it 2 or 3 minutes later because Twitter is just a constant stream of the dumbest shit all the time. It's just an actual cesspool of diarrhea constantly flowing through it. But occasionally there are tweets that just stick with me. And there's one that's just been living rent-free in my ass for the last 2 weeks. And I just want to talk about it today. It comes from Seth Rogen. I'm sure you already know what tweets I'm about to mention because I'm super late to this one, but I don't care. Just like puking while having a bad hangover, I've got to get it out of my system to feel better. So our story starts just like every other fairy tale, with a robbery in LA. Casey Neistat makes a tweet. So our cars got robbed this morning because Los Angeles is a crime-riddled third world shithole of a city. But tremendous appreciation and gratitude to the hardworking officers at the LAPD West LA, who not only arrested the motherfucker, but they got all our stolen goods back. That's about all there is to it. That's all she wrote right there. This fairy tale has a happy ending. Shrek gets the girl, case closed. Like, there's really not a whole lot to really dissect here, and you wouldn't expect this to be a controversial thing to say. His car got broken into, people got arrested, and they got their stuff back. I mean, that's a complete adventure right there. Like, the only people that could really be offended about a tweet like that would be the people that got arrested. Like, if they're on Twitter on their phone in jail, like, hey, fuck you, buddy. I would have got away with it, too, if it wasn't for that meddling dog. But then out of nowhere, from the top turnbuckle, comes Seth Rogen making a surprise appearance at WrestleMania on Twitter. I guess he's like the head of tourism for LA, because he got mad that he called LA a shithole of a city. That's what he took issue with. So Seth Rogen replies, "Dude, I've lived here for over 20 years. You're nuts, haha." Actually, I'll do the Seth Rogen laugh. Yeah. It's lovely here. Don't leave anything valuable in it. It's called living in a big city. Bro, just don't get your car broken into. It's that easy. It's called living in a big city. You should expect your shit to be constantly violated because you're living in a big city. Don't leave anything valuable in your car because you're gonna lose it. Duh. Dummy, fucking idiot, this is your fault now. You're the one that is to blame for this. You don't want your valuables stolen? Don't leave them in the car in LA. LA is wonderful, but just expect all your shit to get broken into, so plan accordingly by keeping less valuable stuff in your car. Love LA, it's great. It's such a stupid thing to come in and say out of nowhere. Even Casey Neistat, who plays nice with everyone, is taken aback by it. He's like, what the fuck is this? It's so outrageously stupid. Very rarely will you see somebody defend LA like tooth and nail. Obviously, there's people that like LA, especially extremely wealthy people like Seth Rogen who found crazy success there. But it's pretty rare that there's someone as delusionally off the mark so consistently like Seth Rogen, and this is the perfect example of it. He finds the one spot and the one opinion that almost no one agrees with. He's also just not really shy about showing that he feels superior to the average person. Like, he took personal offense that Casey Neistat said LA was a shithole, and then like shames him for being upset that his car was broken into. Bro, just get another car, get other valuable things, it's that easy. So Casey Neistat responds, I can still be mad though, right? Feels so violated. Asking his permission to be mad, like, oh, if Seth Rogen says I can't be mad, then I guess I'm okay with it. So then Seth Rogen replies, yeah, oh yeah, you can be mad, but I guess I don't personally view my car as an extension of myself, and I've never really felt violated any of the 15 or so times my car was broken into. This dude is just leaving his car out like a candy bucket on Halloween, it seems. Once a guy accidentally left a cool knife in my car, so if it keeps happening, you might get a little treat. This is certainly up there with the wackiest, stupid shit I've read on Twitter from a celebrity. It's baffling that not only did his brain come up with this as a tweet, but it passed the filters that his brain has to post it. He's like, yep, this looks good. And he hit tweet, and it's still not deleted. And I'm glad it's not. I'm glad that he's just going to stick to his guns and leave this shit up. This is something that I feel is going to haunt him forever, because he is still getting clowned on to this day for this tweet. It's been 2 weeks now, and I don't think it'll stop anytime soon, because it is just that outrageously stupid. Because Seth Rogen doesn't view his car as an extension of himself, he's totally fine with people using it like a fucking fleshlight. They just treat his cars like a cum dumpster, and they dive right in, and Seth Rogen gives them a nice thumbs up, I suppose. And I'm assuming that extends to everything in Seth Rogen's life. As a lot of people have also pointed out, how does Seth Rogen feel about, like, his house? Is that an extension of himself? Because if not, why not just have a bunch of people go into your house, Seth, and take all your shit? Just let everyone have a field day. If your car's not an extension of yourself, your house, your property, it's not either. So I'm assuming he's just going to open his doors and let people come take all of his valuable possessions and high-five them on the way out, baby. I also love how he's defending LA by mentioning his car's been broken into 15 times in the time that he's lived there. That doesn't make people excited about LA, Seth, you fucking psychopath. Not everyone can afford to replace all their valuables after their car's been broken into 15 times, you goofball. And I also love that he closes it off by saying that one of them even left a knife in his car as a little treat, a tip. To me, that sounds like either a threat or they're trying to frame you for a crime. They fucking left a tool that they used at some other crime scene in Seth's car, and these fucking idiots just manhandling it, getting his fingerprints all over it, hangs it up on his fireplace mantle. Eventually the cops find it and connect him to some unrelated crime. Seth goes to jail for life or some shit. Like, I don't know who gets excited about someone leaving a knife in their car after it just got broken into. Like, it's just, the delusion here is unbelievable. So the conversation starts to fizzle out here, but it continues. Casey Neistat says, I didn't get any treats, he just took the decorations for my daughter's 7th birthday party and left bloody handprints. Yeah, obviously he's not going to get any treats. It's not like the Tooth Fairy broke into his car and left him some money for what they took. Like, it was a robbery. I don't know how Seth can possibly justify it by saying just let your car keep getting stolen and eventually you'll get a knife. Like, it's fucking silly. And then he says, serious question, how did you get your car broken into 15 times? Which is a great question, because you really have to go out of your way to get it broken into that many times, I feel. Seth says, I lived in West Hollywood for 20 years and parked on the street. Also, it sucks your shit was stolen, but LA is not some shithole city. As far as big cities go, it has a lot going for it. Yeah, especially if you're a burglar who knows what kind of car Seth Rogen drives, because apparently you can just go in there and take all that shit with no consequence, because Seth doesn't give a fuck. His car is getting broken into almost once a year at this rate. This is where the interaction stops, and you just have to wonder, what was Seth Rogen thinking? Like, who did he think this appealed to besides, like, the extremely rich Hollywood elites? Like, there's no normal person that's going to read that and be like, wow, how noble of Seth, just giving away his shit like that and accepting that beautiful knife. I don't know really what he was expecting to happen. But it got me thinking, what is the worst tweet I ever made? And I think I found it. I tweeted this back in 2019. I said, what the fuck, the chupacabra is real, he just fucked my grandpa. I don't regret posting the tweet, but I do really regret that I misspelled chupacabra. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this because I've been thinking about it a lot recently, and yeah, that's about it. See ya. Twitter is a place where fun and happiness goes to die. But people have talked about how shitty Twitter is a million times by now. I'm not going to be talking about that today. I'm not here to add another noodle to that spaghetti. Instead, I want to talk about my favorite moment on Twitter. And this is a classic. This is something that I still think about pretty often, and it puts a big goofy smile on my face. and I'd like to share it with all of you just in case you weren't on Twitter at that time, and if you weren't, God bless you, keep up the good work. But for those of you that may have missed it, I'd just like to bring it to your attention because this was truly one of the best moments on Twitter in my opinion. This happened in the crazy, wild, and wacky year of 2018. It was August 21st, and a young Charles White had only just recently celebrated his 23rd birthday. At the time, I hadn't even considered growing my hair out. How naive I was back then. A silly short-haired Charles in all his hubris took to Twitter on August 21st as he typically did, just perusing and seeing what was going on, cruising the internet, when all of a sudden his eyes were drawn to a developing story that was starting to really make waves on the platform. And the story involved NASA and a recently hired intern. Everyone shut the fuck up. I got accepted for a NASA internship. That's absolutely massive. That's huge. Like, that is a big accomplishment and something definitely worthy of celebration. Like, shit, I would be going wild too, ripping my shirt off and twirling it over my head if NASA even asked me to lick their toilet seats clean. So absolutely, I see the jubilation they were going through, but perhaps they celebrated a bit too aggressively. A while after the initial tweet, there was this response from a man named Homer Hickam, and he said something very simple: language. This is some shit like right out of a movie. One single word that changes everything, and it did. You see, on Twitter, most people assume that when there's just a picture of a person and they're an older person, that it's either a fake account or someone that they can just bully. I don't know why Twitter has that impression that old people just deserve to be bullied on the internet, but that's how it goes on Twitter, where everyone gets bullied. So Homer came in here and just dropped his cock on the celebration, just flopped his meat out on the fucking birthday cake here, and just said exactly what every teacher growing up would say when the class was getting rowdy: language. And the community didn't take too kindly to that, and especially not the original poster, who replied with this: "Suck my dick and balls, I'm working at NASA." This is one of those lines that would be on their tombstone, because this was a big mistake. Like Icarus, they had flown too close to the sun and were burning up now. Because they didn't just talk shit to a random person on Twitter, they said this to Homer Hickam, who holds the entire future of this person's career in the palm of his hand. It just like, his picture reminds me of Chris Hansen, and just like Chris Hansen, Homer Hickman has come out here and fucking shocked this person. Homer Hickman responds by saying, "And I am on the National Space Council that oversees NASA." You basically couldn't have chosen a worse person to say "suck my dick and balls" to. When it comes to their new job, they basically just told Jesus Christ to suck their dick and balls. It was a bold and foolish move, because our original poster here lost the internship. And it wasn't Homer Hickam who caused them to lose their internship. He didn't go to corporate, talk to the manager, and demand they lose it or anything like that. He didn't tattletale. They lost their internship naturally as a result of this conversation catching so much steam online. And Homer Hickam actually ran a blog where he talked about this, where he defended this person and elaborates a little bit further on the situation. So Homer Hickman seems like a fucking great guy. I'll go ahead and read his blog post to you now, which is unfortunately deleted, but it has been archived, so here it is. Social media. I love the way he starts this. It's like immediately professional, as if he's giving a full-blown fucking press release here to Twitter. Recently, it was called to my attention on Twitter that someone was being hired by NASA and that they were using the F word in a tweet about it. I'm a Vietnam vet and not at all offended by the F word. However, when I saw NASA and the word used together, it occurred to me that this young person might get in trouble if NASA saw it, so I tweeted to her one word: language, and intended to leave it at that. Soon, her friends took umbrage and said a lot of unkind things, but long after I was gone, as I immediately deleted my comments and blocked all concerned. Classic Twitter, bullying this guy until he just deactivates his shit, not surprising. Later, I learned she had lost her offer for an internship with NASA. This I had nothing to do with, nor could I, since I do not hire and fire at the agency or have any say on employment whatsoever. As it turned out, it was due to NASA hashtag her friends used that called the agency's attention to it long after my comments were gone. Again, classic Twitter. They thought they were helping, but they made it significantly fucking worse. It was all of her friends spamming NASA, which showed them the initial tweet of this person being extremely fucking hostile to a high-ranking NASA employee. So Excellent work, Twitter, we did it. She reached out to me with an unnecessary apology, which I heartily accepted and returned with my own. After talking to her, I am certain she deserves a position in the aerospace industry, and I'm doing all I can to secure her one that will be better than she lost. I have also talked to the folks that had to do with her internship and made absolutely certain that there will be no black mark on her record. Signed, Homer Hickam. It would have been such a power move and a huge mic drop if he didn't sign Homer Hickam and instead just ends it with, "Suck my dick and balls now." This guy seems like a real fucking class act. He gets absolutely fisted, his mud tunnel stretched on Twitter, unjustly, since he was literally just looking out for them in the first place by saying, hey, language, you shouldn't be saying NASA and fuck and suck dick and balls all in the same thing. NASA probably doesn't like that. Literally just looking out for this person and got nothing but hostility in response and having to deactivate his shit, and he still goes out of his way to try and help the person. That right there is a great guy. Now, from everything I've read, they never got the internship back, though they are still pursuing that field, and they were qualified for the position and still are qualified, but they no longer are offered that internship at NASA, and that's pretty much where the story ends. I just thought this was a truly fucking wild ride since I watched it happen in real time for the most part, and it was just so fucking crazy to see it go from like, I'm so happy, suck my fucking cock and balls, loser, I'm on NASA. Oh, there goes my internship. Just like this, it was like a full 4-act play, and it played out beautifully. And it was just great. So I just wanted to share that with all of you in case you never saw it, didn't know about it, and yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. Hey there, you having a good day? Well, fuck you, because everyone on this subreddit isn't. And you know why they're not having a good day? Because they read or saw something that had a dog in it. Today I'd like to cosplay as those hands that drag you down to hell, but I'd like to drag you to a place that's even more joyless than hell. It's a subreddit dedicated to this crazy hate of dogs. Just the fact that dogs exist bother these people to their very core and ruin their day. God forbid if they see like a Facebook post with a dog in it, or if they hear a dog bark, they go like a fucking full Winter Soldier episode and leave like a 9-paragraph post on this subreddit complaining about it and how dogs should be euthanized out of the world or some shit. It's crazy. I'm not going to say the subreddit's name because I don't want them harassed or anything. Plus, I'd like to preserve it as this nice little specimen for the lunacy to check in on. So I don't want it contaminated and polluted. So please, if anyone finds it, don't go out of your way to ruin it. But there's this whole subreddit dedicated for people to go in there and just vent about how much they hate the fact that dogs exist and tell their stories of when they encountered dogs and how they wanted to kill them or stuff like that, or why dogs shouldn't exist, etc. It is so sad. So unbelievably sad. Now, this also exists for cats, but today I want to focus on the dog one because they're a lot more hateful for some reason. Now, just in case one of these people from the subreddit is watching this video, I'm going to go ahead and call in one of my dogs. That just the sight of a dog makes these people just fucking melt. It's like taking sunlight to a vampire, like rubbing garlic in their face. Kata, come here. Kata! Good girl. What a good girl. Yes. Alright. Now, please, come on, hop up. Join me as we take a look at the most unhappy subreddit on all of Reddit. Good girl. I'd like to start with the most reasonable of everything on the subreddit. So this is, I downvote anything with a dog in it. They go on to explain they're tired of seeing dog content. You know, there's nothing wrong with not liking dogs. You don't have to fucking love dogs or animals in general for that matter. But to go out of your way to make a whole subreddit and multiple posts talking about how much you actively hate dogs and the fact that dogs exist, that's pretty insane. Like, that's pretty wild shit. To just be so bothered by the fact that dogs exist in the world is such a weird thing to harp on. Like, what's next? Are you gonna be outraged at the fact that you can't see air with your own 2 eyes? Just fucking weird. But anyway, like with everything on the internet, the comments is where shit really pops off, so I'll read a couple. Same. I downvote anything with a dog in it, including memes. I'm on several food Reddits, and at least 3 to 5 times a day I see a picture of someone's food and a dog in the picture, and they mention the doggo. The dogs are usually looking ultra pathetic in the pictures and begging for the food in said picture. It's also pandering for upvotes / awards to have the dog in the picture because doggos are so trendy right now. I mean, I don't care. If there's even remotely a dog in it, I downvote it, and I'm not sorry about it. Yeah, this comment really reads like someone who doesn't care. Sorry, not sorry, just hate dogs. It calls them ultra pathetic. Like, what a weird thing to attribute to an animal. Oh yeah, I was driving around and I saw this fucking pathetic looking dog. Can't even do a bicep curl, probably has a negative KD in Fortnite. It was so sad, so I just fucking spit at it. Like, it's not nearly as good as a human. Dogs can't do what humans do. How fucking sad and pathetic are dogs, am I right, humans? This person's whole identity revolves around their unique trait of hating dogs to an absurd degree. The fact they can't see a dog in a picture with food without getting irrationally angry about it. Like the other commenter said, what if it's just a dog's ear accidentally? And then someone replies, well, if it's a food subreddit, then they shouldn't have a dog so close to their food. Ew. Oh, ew, how yucky, there's a dog in the kitchen. Meanwhile, this guy probably doesn't even wash his hands after taking a shit. Probably doesn't even wipe his own ass either. Like, these are probably the filthiest people on this subreddit, and yet they put all of that on dogs. It's like they're projecting all of their insecurities on dogs. So fucking goofy. Sometime I sort by new, just so I can downvote any dog posts. I hope to catch them before they start trending. That's a great idea. Also, by the way, that is the same person who said dogs shouldn't be anywhere around food, like in the same fucking city as food. Now that's just asshole behavior, like Jesus, let people have their fun. Someone says, you know what, that's a little too far. But luckily they have a reasonable response, very level-headed. You want to know what is asshole behavior? Having a big dog in an apartment, letting a dog bark all day while you are at work, thinking a dog's life is more valuable than a human's. Okay, calm down here, big shot. Where did you get any of that from the post, which just says I downvote dog posts? Where did all that come from? This is like an onion. We have to peel apart the layers to really figure this shit out. It's so unrelated, you know? It's like getting in an argument with me, or like, Charlie, you're really bad at basketball, and then I turn around and be like, you know what's really bad? The fact that my dad doesn't think I'm successful and laughs at me because I'm short. Like, you know, where's that coming from, Charlie? That's not what we were talking about. In this post, this person was just saying this is kind of asshole behavior to be doing what you're doing, downvoting new posts just because you don't like dogs. And then they turn around and go off on a completely unrelated tangent about valuing dogs' lives more than humans. I do too, referring to downvoting dog posts. Lately there have been a Louis Vuitton ad with an ugly-ass dog in a handbag. I couldn't be more disgusted. Why are luxury brands associating themselves with one of the filthiest animals in the world? That's a pretty big leap, calling dogs the filthiest animals in the world. There's animals that literally live in shit. And you know, humans aren't that clean either. In fact, I would argue humans are dirtier than most animals. Like, you can catch all kinds of diseases from other humans that you can't from animals. I mean, like, you could definitely make the argument humans are actually far grosser. The guy who commented this is probably 15 days without a shower by now. You know, there's plenty of arguments that you could make that make dogs not the filthiest animal in the world. In fact, I don't think at any point you could even make the argument they are. Like, this is just a really delusional post. Making my boyfriend and his dog move out. So this is a lot to digest here. Chapter 1 is spent introducing the characters and setting the scene. This lady has just closed on her dream home and her boyfriend is moving in and he has a dog. Chapter 2, we're introduced to the main villain of this anime arc, who also happens to be the protagonist. So this is her talking about the dog. But I hate him, he smells, he's neurotic, he's super weird about nail trim, so I'm constantly hearing the tap 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 of dog claws on my floor. I just hate it. Because of his claws, the Trex deck I have currently is totally scratched to all hell. Thankfully the buyer has a dog, so she didn't mind, and it didn't cost me anything. He's made pee rings all over the lawn, and I don't feel like I can walk barefoot out there anymore. My house smells like dog despite weekly baths, and he's of course scared of water, so bath time is mostly a war we must wage. I finally told my boyfriend today I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can live with a dog, especially in my new house. This lady is about to throw away a relationship because she just doesn't like dogs. I knew I didn't want to, but it felt very good to say it. It sucks because my boyfriend said he won't let the dog go. That's fine. I'll live in a $500,000 home by myself, and he can rent an effing apartment. That means fucking apartment. She's venting. She's getting very angry, you know. She's making a stand. You know, fuck dogs, and he can live on the goddamn street and get pissed on by homeless people with his dog. I don't care. I'm better alone. I don't know about the status of our relationship. I'm going to tell you it's probably over. He probably saw this psycho side of you. It's honestly been rocky for a bit, but I think it's mostly due to his dog being a constant source of friction. I'm not scared of being single though, so if that ends up being the best for me, I'll do it. I'm just glad I found this sub because sometimes it feels so isolating not liking dogs. Thanks for reading, felt good to write it out. Well, this basket of sunshine here seems pretty rational. There's not liking dogs, and then there's this, throwing away your entire relationship and future plans because of not liking a dog. That's very different. You see, in a relationship, I don't know how many you've been in or if you even know how they work, but not both people are the same person, so they're gonna have different likes and dislikes. That's totally normal and natural. There's compromises that you two make together with communication instead of some kind of crazy ultimatum outrage where it was either me or the dog. Get the fuck out of here because I hate dogs. That dog's claws tap on the floor and it makes me fucking mad. Get the fuck out of here. Like, that's a different level. That's not disliking dogs, that's you being crazy. That's you having an irrational hatred of an animal. I can finally shout it from the rooftops. I am finally dog free! After 4 years of piss, shit, dirt, filth, grime, dog hair, foul odor, fights with my spouse. Probably not the dog's fault, you're probably just a really shitty significant other if I had to guess, especially with this kind of weird post. Annoyance, rage, resentment, hate, disgust. And holding my tongue more than I ever thought humanly possible, I can finally announce my family and I are dog free! Fuck that piece of shit. I am so done with her. She's gone and she's never coming back. I've been singing and dancing all day. I've already started cleaning and scrubbing her from my life. It's a long process to clean every last piece of shit that has her filth on it, but I started already, and it's so therapeutic. Tomorrow, I'm gonna bleach the whole balcony. I'm so excited. I'm gonna vacuum the house about 10 times and then steam clean it another 2 to 3 times. I'm running the pet dishes through the dishwasher 2 to 3 times. We still have a cat that uses the pet dishes. I've already thrown her kennel out to the dumpster. I just want to scrub every last memory of this shit beast out of my life, and it feels so good to do it. She has caused me nothing but grief every day for the last 4 years. I hate her. I hate her so much. I'm so fucking done with her. She's gone. She's gone. She's gone. I guarantee this person's significant other also made a Reddit post this day saying, I can finally shout it from the rooftops. I am finally free from my crazy fucking significant other, this wacko, this maniac. What a post. And I like that they also admit they still have a cat. Cats literally have a litter box inside of your house full of shit and piss and filth. That is an actual cauldron of filth in your house. At least if you train a dog properly, they will go to the bathroom outside, which is out of your house, which means out of your immediate vicinity. You have all kinds of, like, fucking cat shit particles floating around. I like cats, not as much as dogs, but cats have a fucking litter box in your house, so if you're going by just, like, pure, poop and shit in the house, cats literally do it inside. Dogs do it outside when they're trained. This is probably just the worst dog owner of all time. Judging by this post, I think that can be said with a high level of certainty, just not very competent when it comes to animals. Or relationships, for that matter, since apparently this dog drove a wedge in their actual fucking relationship somehow. I hate seeing dogs on cat-dominated subs. Your shit breed isn't cute. It's always titled, Are Dogs Welcome? And the images of an ugly ass sniffer barely doing whatever the sub is for. The comments are idiots simping like, oh yes, haha, love your pupper, I would let it shit on my front yard, ahaha. I wish these subs would ban dog photos. I'm there to see cute cats, not dogs. If I wanted to see a fucking dog, I would go to drooling wastes of oxygen or some shit. Fuck your stupid dogs, Kimberly. I want to see legitimately cute things on my screen. Yeah, I'd let a cat shit in my house, haha. Like, this is such a dumb argument. Dogs shit outside, cats shit inside. Like, you like cats, but you point out that dogs shit in the front yard. Your cat is literally shitting where you sleep. Again, I like cats, but these arguments are absolutely ridiculous. You're a fucking idiot. Not liking dogs is one thing. Not liking dogs on a cat sub, totally reasonable. But to take it to an extreme, it makes no sense. There's so much on this subreddit. I only shared with you the top posts of the last year because I don't want to get too deep into it, so I just wanted to share the top posts recently for the year. It's crazy. All of them also play this victim card where it's like, we're crucified for not liking dogs. People just can't accept that some people just don't like dogs. No, you fucking lunatic. No one is mad at you for not liking dogs. It's taking it to this crazy extreme where you make it your whole personality trait or the deciding factor in a relationship. That's to an absurd level. It's just so extreme and ridiculous. There was a post on there about this lady who in her Tinder bio changed it to I fucking hate dogs and went into detail about not liking dogs, and she was saying how she doesn't get matches anymore or something like that. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's dogs. It's the fact that you have this crazy hatred for something that you're just so willing to just wear on your sleeve. Like, change that whole thing. Instead of it being like, I fucking hate dogs, change it to something, I fucking hate Pepsi. If you wrote a paragraph about how much you fucking hate Pepsi, people would still look at you the same way and think you're weird. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's dogs. It's the fact with how hard you go in this hatred for it. Like, it's so weird. That's why people often look at you as like a circus act or like something goofy to read and be surprised about. To hate an animal to this level. There's plenty of things to not like about dogs. Sure, you know, some dogs are aggressive. Maybe you had a bad experience with a dog. People have died from dog maulings. Yeah, that's absolutely happened. It's happened with cats as well, which they all, well, not all, but a lot of them on this subreddit seem to like cats, but it's also happened with cats too. Like, it happens. So there is things to not like about it, so no one really blames you if you're not a huge fan after having an experience or reading something that scared you. But to have this level of fixation on your hatred for an animal is crazy. There's a lot of posts in here where they celebrate when they get dogs taken away from their owners or get their neighbors kicked out for having dogs in a neighborhood. There's a lot of posts about that. Now, some of them actually were pretty decent. Like, there were owners of a dog that weren't treating the dog well, and they got the dog separated from the owner, so maybe the dog can find a better home. Those are fine. But then there's other posts cheering them on, like, my neighbor's dog barks a lot, so I called the police on him hoping that the dog would get shot by the police. Like, that's the craziness that people look at you and raise an eyebrow at. It's not the fact that you're not a huge fan of dogs. It's to have everything about you be hating dogs is weird. And that's why people find you to be this interesting specimen to read about on Reddit. So yeah, anyway, that's about it. So yeah. When you think of dangerous items at airports, you undoubtedly go to the obvious answers of, you know, a gun, a bomb, a sledgehammer, these biceps. But what if I told you one of the deadliest weapons that you could ever smuggle into an airport, at least in New Zealand's eyes, is an apple? Matt sent me this video 2 days ago, and I'd actually heard about this a long time ago on stream, that New Zealand's airport security is extremely strict when it comes to fruits, specifically.
Right in. So you can either pay now. I know it seems silly. The fine is 200 New Zealand dollars.
Apples.
Didn't see that coming.
If that sizzler doesn't get you hooked, I don't know what will. This is the start to every action movie ever. It always starts with an apple. And a $200 fine. Now, to convert that to freedom bucks, it's about 120 USD. That's an expensive apple. Like, and you don't even get to keep the apple. So the apple costs you 120 bucks and then it just vanishes. Airport security probably eats it. I don't know. They banish it to the shadow realm. I would be livid. Like, that is not a small fine at all. Red alert! We're entering DEF CON here. So this is the craziest fucking story I think I've ever heard at an airport, to be honest. Like, this is unreal. So, the flight that was coming in gave passengers some items that included an apple. This was provided by the airline, so passengers were none the wiser that this was illegal contraband. So a ton of passengers took the apple and took it. Like, you know, as a human being would. If you were offered, you know, free food, you take it. So a lot of passengers had an apple, and every single one of them is about to incur a $200 fine for it. They're all about to get slapped by the long dick of justice here at the New Zealand airport. Tony is running in with that big iron on his hip, and he's going to be slinging that meat here with this fine. Because they're all criminals, and they're all on the loose right now. There's a ton of fugitives they got to wrangle together here. A lot of apple smugglers. The only way they'd have the energy to accomplish that goal is by drinking enough goof juice. Available at gamersubs.gg/moist.
The tally keeps rising.
Should be the airline's responsibility to know the laws of the country and not hand out apples that's going to get all of their passengers huge fines. I totally sympathize with all the passengers that are irate and crying about it, because it's just unfair. Honestly, and this is getting the tinfoil hat on in a big way, like I'm going deep into a conspiracy mode here, but it honestly sounds like some kind of nefarious scheme where the airline is obviously aware of it, and they know passengers probably aren't. So what they do is they give them apples knowing they're all going to get fined, and the airline maybe gets a kickback from the fines. I don't know. Like I said, I'm deep into the conspiracy on that, but it's just so unfathomable to me that they would be handing passengers items that are illegal and going to get them into trouble. Like, honestly, if the airlines were handing the passengers cocaine, I feel like less people would have been fined, because the passengers would be like, oh, free coke. Definitely can't have that through an airport, and then they try and hide it, and they wouldn't necessarily get caught if they do a good job of hiding it. Whereas here, the passengers would be none the wiser. They'd be like, oh, an apple. I'll just go ahead and put that in plain sight here, and then all of them get your horses. It's not the Apple's fault here. Don't go pointing the finger there. The Apples aren't stupid. It's the fucking airline that is. Like, it should entirely be the airline's responsibility to cover these fines. It is entirely their fault. It's just this perfect storm of silliness here, with an airline giving away apples to a group of passengers that's going to an airport that doesn't allow apples. Which reminds me of that, like, lady doing a demonstration in class where she's like, "No pomegranates! No pomegranates!" or whatever. Like, that's this New Zealand airport here. This is no mercy. This is cutthroat. This could have easily been a warning. Like, hey, look, apples, we don't like them here. That's an evil that we must purge. So throw your apples away here and you won't get a fine. I know it's not your fault. We understand the airline gave them to you. So please just toss your apples here at the gate and go about your business. Like, that would have been the right thing to do. That's how the airport should have handled it, as opposed to this fucking iron fist they dropped down like, hey, we know the airline gave you this without letting you know that you're not supposed to have it. So I hope you like jail. Fucking criminal scum. Give us 200 clams right now for this. I can't believe you've done this. Spitting on you for that. Like, this was an easy moment for leniency. To just understand it's not the fucking passengers that have cooked up this evil plot of bringing apples into New Zealand. I love how he says didn't see that coming, with people being upset about being fined a huge amount of money. I just don't understand why they're so perturbed. It doesn't compute up here. Why would they be upset? It's their fault. They clearly brought an apple here that they didn't even ask to have in the first place. It's just so infuriating, punishing innocent people who just got served a free fruit and had no idea that they weren't allowed to take it like it was some kind of 100% right. Her anger is completely justified here. It makes no sense at all. What a fucking colossal fumble here from the airline. And I really don't get why the airport security is this vicious about it. Well, everyone knows once you bring an apple in, if you let them get away without, proper punishment, then, it starts with an apple, and the next thing you know, they're smuggling on white phosphorus bombs onto the plane, and we say, no sirree. We're shutting it down. We won't allow the domino effect. The apple's just the gate into the choir. I believe the airline should 100% cover these fees and more, because not only are they being charged a lot of money in fines here, but it's also just a colossal fucking headache. Like, time wasted in the airport as well. This could have thrown people's entire schedules off, having to go to the side being treated like some kind of fucking terrorist for having an apple that the airline gave you. Like, the airline should absolutely be forking over a lot of cash here to cover this problem that they caused.
Stuff and that could affect our country.
Australia would have been burned to the ground, nothing but soil and ash if they allowed apples to go through from this flight, so actually saved the entire nation there, no doubt. I just really don't understand. It's not firm but fair. It's anything but fair, because it's not like everyone on that plane all of a sudden banded together to say, fuck Australia, we're bringing in these apples, come hell or high water. The airline provided them with it. This should be an extenuating circumstance where there's leniency. Again, it makes no sense because it is not firm but fair. The passengers didn't know. They didn't bring the fruit themselves. It was the airline that was at fault here. And the airline did not get punished, at least not from what I read. I couldn't find like a full-blown follow-up on exactly what happened here, just like bits and pieces. But the passengers were still punished. It's just so stupid. It's super, super dumb. But yeah, I had to talk about this because when Matt sent it to me, I was pretty surprised at how silly it was. That's about it. So yeah.